Hi guys, this is Abdul Ghafoor and you are watching TLS Pedagogy. One of the common questions I have been asked about the passing criteria. So today I'm going to explain that how your test score is going to be interpreted and what is the criteria about that. So you have to watch this video carefully. Don't skip it because there will be some information you might need for your test. Number one. There's two, that the responses of your assessment either pass or did not pass. This is applied on overall result. But how this applied on overall result? Let me explain. Okay. Number two, as you can see in the box, assessment criteria for topics. These are the four levels, or you can say the assessment criteria. Meets expectations, below expectations, well below expectations, need extensive improve. As you know that you cannot see your test score and the result, but you see the overall you passed or did not pass. But how these topics are being measured or assessed, let me discuss it. Number one, your test has been divided into the four standards. Even if you are specialized, then your test will be divided into the six or according to your subject specialty. So I am giving you an example of the pedagogy TLS cycle 2 and cycle 3. As you know that test is consisting on the four standards and each standard has several domains. So these domains we call the topics. Now your test score will be assessed based on standards as well as based on topics. For example, if you have a three domains or three topics, your test will be assessed equivalently or uniformly on these three topics. That means you have to score or achieve a desired score according to the Ministry of Education. Number two, how exactly this assessment criteria works. As you know that your test is consisting on 80 questions and the percentage, approximate percentage, as you can see on the screen. Let's see. Now these are the topics for standard 2. Now domain 1, demonstrate knowledge of learning development. Similarly, demonstrate knowledge of curriculum and demonstrate knowledge of theoretically basis. And it has been the further divided into the three topics, right? So there are 32 questions, which is approximate 40%. For example, your test, or we can say that we can divide it like that. Okay, so ministry divided according to the importance, or it gives the weightage according to the importance of the topic. Okay, now these are the 32 questions. Now your each domain will be assessed based on these criteria, right? So you have to be very careful when you are answering these questions. Make sure that you are achieving the what we call the desired score on each topic, on each standard, as well as this is the second point. Let's see the further. This means that you have to meet each criteria. That means domain 1, you have to meet on their expectations. Domain 2, you have to meet on the expectations. Domain 3, you have to meet on the expectations. So you try to give that the approximate percentage of correct answer from each domain. But keep in your mind, you will be evaluated based on the overall score. Let's see how. So what the ministry said about your test interpretation. Please note that different test topics have a different percentage weight. Therefore, examinee might pass the exam even if they receive do not meet expectations. Marks on some topics. The opposite is also true, where an examinee might receive did not pass on the overall results even if the topic assessment shows meet the expectations on several topics. In addition, the cutoff score for the three performance level of the topic assessment may change according to the topic and the test specification. Now this point it is very important to understand. First thing, if the passing score is a 60 overall, so the ministry can apply the cutoff score. They can make a low cut and high cut, right? So for example, low cut, they can change from 60% to the 50% overall passing. But make sure you are meeting the criteria of the topic, the topic criteria. Let's see how. Therefore, it is not possible to compare the topic assessment results to the overall results. Okay. So that means if you are not meeting in one of the domain, or if you are fail in one of the domain, for example, suppose in domain 1 your score is below expectation, your score is below expectations, but you have performed well domain 2 and domain 3. So that means you are meeting overall percentage of the standards. So you will be getting a result of meeting expectations. This is the one of the point. Okay, over here you are getting the well below expectations. Okay, but overall you are getting the meet expectations. So according to this statement, that there it is not possible to compare topic assessment results to the overall result. Okay, so even if you are what we call not achieving an expected result in any domain, but you are meeting in overall the result of the standards, that's good for you. So if the overall result is passed, this means that the overall score required to pass the exam has been attained, and the topic assessment results meet expectations, below expectations, need extensive, will report it in order to inform examinee of their strength and weaknesses. The statement will be showing that you need to improve, or this is your strength, or this is a weak, according to your domain or wherever you have got the less or below expectations result. Now how actually number 5 your results, the test score exactly works. Let me uh, reduce the font size, that might gonna over here. Wonderful. Let's see now. Standard 2 domain 1 10 question. For example, the percentage of criteria is a 60% for each domain, even for standard 2. That means you have to correct 6 question from domain 1, 6 question from domain 2, and 7 question from domain 2. Okay, this is a 1 point. In case you achieved over here 3 questions and here 9 question, that means for this domain you will be considered, for the first domain you will be considered as a well below expectation. However, for the rest of the domains you will be considered meet expectations. Again, for the another one, the meet expectations. So again 9 plus 7, that will be the 16, right? Your overall percentage you are meeting, or your overall result you are meeting with the expectations. This is the one thing. Moving to the next, that means number 6. Okay, number of questions required to pass. Okay, Standard 1, you have to correct 5 out of 8. Standard 2, 8, 20 out of 30. Standard 3, 20 out of 32. Standard 5, standard 4, 5 out of 8. That means your 60% is gonna be 48. So you have to at least, you have to be prepared for 40 to 48 to 50 questions. Now how it's gonna work? Okay, so this is the one of the standard or example or a good interpretations according to me. So let me clear, this is not from the ministry side. Okay, I'm going to interpret that how you have to be prepared for your test. Okay, so let me give you the logical calculation of this criteria. Okay, now in case, let's see, in case your standard number 1 has a 0 score, however standard 3 has a, standard 2 has a 30 answers correct, standard 3 20 answers, and standard 4 5 answers. So according to this, your total score is 55. But again, let's see, you are meeting with expectations, right? You are meeting with expectations in standard 3. You are meeting with expectations standard 4. But over here, as you can see, this part you are not meeting, score is 0. So in overall, your result will show that you did not pass and need an extensive improvement in standard 1. So this is what exactly the interpretation of your what we call passing criteria. I'm sure this will help you a lot to understand your test score. We'll be meeting in the next lesson.